name is Mary Blondiot. I come from Poitiers in the west of France. Half of my family is French and half of my family is Chinese.
Hi, my name is Carly Sharp. I'm from Burlington, Ontario, and I am Canadian.
Hi, my name is Sagar Soda. I'm from Kelowna, British Columbia. I'm half Punjabi, half Jamaican, and first generation Canadian.
你好 Hi, I'm Li Mingyang. I'm from southern part of China, Shenzhen, Guangdong province. My parents are both Chinese. They're from northern part of China, a province called Hubei.
안녕하세요. Hi, my name is Soyoung Kim. I am from Incheon, South Korea, and both of my parents are also from Incheon, Korea.
Hi, my name is Julia Penny. I'm from Port Perry, Ontario. My mom's family is from Barbados and my dad's family is from Newfoundland.
We did
Positive cross-cultural communication in the workplace.
We did reach out beyond your culture.
I did common interests.
I did treat others as they want to be treated.
Our first pillar is create positive cross-cultural interaction. But what is it? Well, cross-cultural interaction can be defined as mutual influences of people who are representative of different cultures. But why do we want positive cross-cultural interaction? First of all, because if multicultural team members focus on differences of values and attitude, cross-cultural communication is more effective because it becomes a channel of transmitting knowledge and learning. Second, because interaction between multicultural team members foster the creation of social bond, and social bond increase the efficiency of communication and stimulate job satisfaction. Unfortunately, there are also some barriers to communication and conflict that can occasionally appear because of cultural distance and ethnocentrism. The first problem is that there are differences in preferences within the superior role and the leadership style, scope of authority, information flow, and formalization. Second, there are also differences in verbal and nonverbal behavior. And third, there are differences in importance assigned to interpersonal relationships at work and conflicting life priorities.
To overcome the barriers, we have 3 key solutions. The first one is have at least some knowledge of people's cultural background. It can be very easy to stick with what you know rather than trying to meet people who are different from you. However, actively trying to understand and embrace cultural difference can open you up to a whole world of existing new possibilities and experience. The second one is to commit to boost your own cultural competency. Learn about different cultural traditions and approaches to work and keep up with global events and international politics. Take the time to get to know your colleagues from different countries and backgrounds. Not only will you gain a greater sense of cultural application of sensitivities, you're likely to make new friends by finding much common ground. The last one is to using them to enhance the way that how your team analyze situations and make decisions. So to do this, try to be open, ask for feedback, shun humor, and maintain respect to your team members. 掌握面子的重要性是中国职场生存的关键因素。面子是中国商业环境中的重要组成部分，也是一个根深蒂固的概念。一个人的声誉、声望在职场、家庭甚至社会多个领域都依赖于它。在许多情况下，不管要求背后是否合理或者公正，下属都应该毫无疑问的服从。员工和工作场所的雇主都会尽量避免负面信息。在我的上一个实习工作中，会议中雇员对老板的意见都会无条件赞同，如果实在有异议的话，一般会私底下向老板提出意见。相反，老板也不会当着大家的面指责出我的错误，而是会叫我去办公室。
Contrairement à la Chine où vous ne pouvez pas vraiment questionner votre employeur, en France ou en Allemagne, vous pouvez le faire. Que ce soit en pleine réunion, dans son bureau privé ou ailleurs, il est toujours possible de défendre ses idées, argumenter en faveur d'autres options possibles. D'ailleurs, la plupart des responsables demandent à être questionnés, demandent à ce qu'on partage nos opinions, car pour eux, cela fait partie de la vie en entreprise, ils trouvent cela très positif. Lorsque j'étais en stage, mon manager me demandait toujours « Qu'en penses-tu ? Comment résoudrais-tu ce problème ?» ou encore « Quelles sont tes recommandations ?» Je trouve que c'est vraiment intéressant pour moi, surtout en stage, car cela nous apprend à réfléchir par nous-mêmes et ne pas à suivre bêtement les instructions.
So this pillar is reaching out beyond your culture. So reaching out beyond your culture means exactly that. We must discover ways to think outside of our box and our comfort zone and find opportunities to interact and experience working with people from cultures that are different than our own. By broadening your perspective to grasp and understand other cultures, it will provide new and exciting experiences that you may not have known about before. So we often get caught up in ourselves planning new flashy adventures, but sometimes we just need to stop, breathe, and look at the adventures that are right in front of us. And by adventures, I mean exploring and participating in new cultures that are all around us. Now, there are several ways to go about reaching out beyond your culture, but all of these ways can be further broken into 3 categories, which are mutual learning, mutual teaching, and mutual understanding. So first I'll go over mutual learning. So become aware of your own culture. Understanding how your own culture has affected you helps to understand how it could affect someone else. Ask questions. Asking and showing interest about other cultures and perhaps their holidays, traditions, and workplace norms will help further your appreciation for their culture. Do your own research. Although what is portrayed in TV shows and movies are often the stereotypical example of a culture, reach beyond that and read books and search the internet. Next is mutual teaching. So ask for clarification. Instead of being hesitant to ask to clarify, or for someone asking to clarify yourself, just do it. This will simultaneously benefit both of you by clearing up the misunderstanding while also adapting communications in order to be understood. Next, seek commonalities. This draws people from diverse cultures closer together as you can connect on your similarities for effective collaboration. And last is mutual understanding. Pay attention. Notice the differences, norms, and everyday interactions of other cultures. Participate. When people of other cultures want to bring their culture to you and celebrations to you, try it. Embrace positive differences. Overlook cultural differences as being important. You both bring something amazing to the table and together make for great connections.
Now that we are familiar with these steps, we should also recognize the advantages and disadvantages of reaching out beyond one's culture. For example, the same behaviors could be considered inappropriate depending on the culture. So, by learning the cultural difference, people can avoid committing a faux pas and making other cultural mistakes. Also, people can correctly interpret and make sense of the behavior of others, which can be helpful when making first impressions and establishing personal perceptions to avoid any misunderstandings. On the other hand, there are also downsides. After understanding their cultural differences, people will try not to make a faux pas, especially in important business meetings. This will cause lots of stress because people could feel pressure and it would be mentally taxing on them to not make unintentional mistakes. Moreover, if people only know these differences vaguely and not precisely, it could also cause problems because they might overgeneralize and make assumptions based on the stereotype that has been established through inaccurate information. There could be a high chance that you are incorrect in these assumptions. 한국에는 나이 문화가 존재합니다. 그래서 처음 만났을 때 나이를 물어보는 게 일상인데요. 나이 문화는 직장에도 존재합니다. 직장의 대부분은 위치와 계층이 우선시되어 있습니다. 근데 한국은 지위는 낮아도 나이가 많은 사람을 존중합니다. 예를 들면 매니저가 사원보다 어릴 경우 사원에게 말할 때 자신이 나이가 어리기 때문에 존댓말을 쓰고 사원은 당연히 상사라서 존댓말을 사용합니다. 그래서 이 2가지 계층의 공존을 인지하지 못한 채 나이 문화만 알고 있어서 나이가 많은 사원에게 반말을 하게 되면 무례한 행동이 됩니다. 나이 문화에 있어서 가장 중요한 정보는 경어의 사용입니다. 우리는 심지어 1~2살 많은 친한 친구에게도 경어를 사용해서 나이 많은 친구가 말을 편하게 하라고 하기 전까지는 경어를 사용해야 합니다. 스캇 교수님이 첫 수업 때 학생들에게 학교 밖 마트에서 만나게 되면 편하게 이야기하라고 했는데 그럴 수 있는 학생은 한국에는 아마 없을 거라고 생각됩니다.
So our next pillar is common interests. When communicating across cultures, the best thing you can do is have an open mind when introducing yourself to someone from a different background than yours. Often our preconceived notions about another person's culture will reinforce stereotypes that are not true. The best way to avoid stereotyping a person from a different background is finding common interests between one another. Now this may seem like a simple process, but it's easier said than done. So the 4 key points I like to illustrate is have empathy, be understanding, be patient, and appreciate differences. As mentioned earlier, you should keep an open mind, and on top of this, you should be understanding, empathetic, and patient. For some people, it may be difficult to open up to others about their personal interests and hobbies, so you have to give them time to open up to you. As for appreciating differences, each culture is unique in their own way, and appreciating differences shows a sign of respect to the individual's background. I myself am a first-generation Canadian. Both my parents are immigrants and they came to Canada seeking opportunities that weren't available in their respective homeland. I'm a mixture of 3 cultures. I'm Punjabi, Jamaican, and Canadian. The application I chose is Section 27 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which states that this charter shall be interpreted in a manner consistent with the preservation and enhancement of multicultural heritage of Canadians. मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੈ this Canadian culture? Is it being kind and courteous, or is it Tim Hortons and hockey?
We're going to be talking about how we want to treat others as they want to be treated. And this is really having the social awareness to know that what someone else might want might not be the same thing that you want or the way that you want to be treated. People from different cultures might want to be treated differently than you do, and treating others as they want to be treated is all about having the awareness to know that someone else's wants are more important than your own in some circumstances. Is this rule different from the golden rule that we were grown up with of treating others as you want to be treated? It's really different because you want to be aware that people, yes, they might be coming to Canada and they might conform to some of the Canadian culture that we have here, but there's still going to be mannerisms or things that they do that they either really appreciate when it's done or they still really cherish, even though they have maybe majority of the time conform to the Canadian culture, or maybe they haven't at all. So you still want to be really aware of how they want to be treated, even if they are looking and acting like someone in the Canadian culture. So an experience I had of this was during my last co-op placement when I was a human resources assistant at a hospital. And we had a lady come in for an interview, and she wanted to let me know that she doesn't shake hands. So this was really important for me as the intern at the facility to let her interviewer know that this individual wasn't going to shake her hand, and because she was actually interviewing with the CIO, we didn't want him to be in a position where he was feeling uncomfortable and kind of start things off on a rocky terrain. So I had to really quickly, because he was going to be there any minute, let him know that he shouldn't offer to shake her hand in an attempt to respect her culture. Treating others as they want to be treated is really important when you're meeting someone for the first time, or maybe you're trying to make a really good impression on them. For example, if you feel like the handshake wasn't as smooth as you thought it would be, or if they have a really difficult name, you could take them aside and ask them to spell out their name or say it a little bit slower, or ask them if there's a greeting that they prefer more. This is just a chance to kind of get a little bit more personal with them and make sure that they are comfortable with what your greeting was or how you're saying their name, just to take that extra step and be aware of their cultural differences. The essence of building relationships across cultural boundaries is being aware of the other party's feelings and making sure that they're comfortable with what's happening and that their values are being respected. Not everyone we will be working with or managing will be Canadian, and we need to be respectful of their cultures and treat others as they want to be treated.
In conclusion, the tools of reaching out beyond your culture, creating cross-cultural relationships, finding common interests, and treating others the way that they want to be treated are all great ways to develop the ability to build connections across cultural boundaries. By focusing on differences in values and attitudes, foster creating of social bonds, asking questions and experiencing other cultures, as well as being able to find similarities amongst your diversities, are all ways to build these connections. Above all, always remembering to be respectful of other cultures and treating them with the respect they want, not the respect you want. The most important thing to remember, even if you are using all of these tools, is to always have an open mind. Building connections across cultural boundaries is not something you can master easily or uniformly. You must work in every new relationship to get to the point where both people are comfortable. This might not be a quick or fluid process, but we guarantee that having patience and putting the work in will benefit both parties in building their relationships. As we heard from Massey, when you're dealing with Chinese culture, face, which we understand as relationship, is the most important thing. Be sure to avoid negative comments in order to preserve face and the relationship. In the French culture, you want to provide feedback to your supervisor. They want to hear from you and how you feel and think about the situation. So speak up and have an open communication. The Korean culture holds age and seniority as a priority, as we heard from So Young. When working with Koreans, always use their proper title for those in higher positions, or even those older than you. We thank you for watching today and hope you learned some ways to build connections across cultural boundaries.